Hello mates, I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to be doing another reacting to tattoo influencers tattoos. I did another one of these videos a couple of weeks ago, which I will link below if you want to go and check that out too. I picked a couple of tattoo tour videos to react to some bits of. I'll put all of the links and all of the credit to the original creators down below as well. Alright, so without further fucking about, let's get into it, shall we? So first up, we once again have the one and only Treacle Tatts. In my last one of these videos, I did also feature Treacle Tatts in that too, but as soon as I put that video out, she goes and she puts out an updated tattoo tour with way better footage of her tattoos in it. So today, we are going to react to some of the tattoos that she featured in that video. So the original video is called Full Tattoo Tour, The Good, The Bad, and the ugly. All right, let's get into it, shall we?
Okay, moving down onto my neck tattoo. This is one of my absolute favorite tattoos of all time.
So
it's very hard for me to pick favorites when it comes to my tattoos because I do have a lot that I love so much. But my neck tattoo is honestly up there with one of my favorites, if not the favorite. I feel like it completes me, which sounds very strange, but I feel like I'm more me with this neck tattoo. It's a pretty gnarly tattoo. It's pretty big,
gnarly, yeah.
But go big or go home, right?
100%.
My neck tattoo is my second most painful tattoo.
Oh, yeah, no, I can imagine because it's not small, is it? This is such a beautiful tattoo and I absolutely love Heidi Fury's work. I may have mentioned it once or twice on this channel, but I do absolutely love black work tattoos. And absolute props to Lauren for sitting through such a painful tattoo, but again, such a fucking beautiful tattoo. I love peony tattoos, especially when they are done in a black work style, and this is a really fucking great example of that. I personally would love to get my neck tattooed. I don't know if it would kind of work out with where I am in my life and, you know, careers and all those sorts of things. It is a proper job stopper tattoo, especially when it's so big, but I would love to get my neck tattooed at some point. Yeah, I fucking love this tattoo.
And then we have my moth tattoo, which is just like here. This is, I think, my newest tattoo. I got this just before the new year. I have always wanted a death moth tattoo. I love death moths. They are a bit of me, you know, they're kind of creepy, kind of cute, everything I love in life, okay? I love the creepy and I love the cute. So I had the death moth added on to this whole situation.
Again, another really beautiful tattoo done by Heidi. Heidi Fury is fast becoming one of my favourite black work tattoo artists in the UK, and this is such a sick tattoo. Again, I absolutely love death moths as well, and the placement and how it flows with the neck tattoo and the throat tattoo. It all just kind of marries together so beautifully. And this is one creepy looking motherfucker, but also really kind of beautiful as well, like really creepily beautiful. And those are always the best kinds of tattoos. This is such a beautifully done tattoo. I even really like how it flows into the traditional rose tattoo that she then has on her shoulder. On her left shoulder, isn't it? Yeah. Even though they're two completely different styles, I think they do actually work really nicely next to each other. And it just goes to show that you don't have to stick with just one style. Treacle Tatts is living proof of that.
Okay, let's follow on to my black work blast over sleeve. Like I said, the last time I did a tattoo tour, it was still in progress, but it's very much finished. It's been finished for a couple of years now. The whole thing took just over a year to do. I had sessions I'm not even sure, every sort of 3 months, I want to say, something like that.
Oh, there's a big commitment of time to getting that done, isn't it? But again, so worth it.
The reason why this is a blast over sleeve is because I had a sleeve underneath it, and I didn't want to do a full-on cover-up because I just knew that was not possible. I had a full sleeve underneath, which was a black and grey realism piece, and it was like a haunted horror situation.
But
I had a spooky house, I had a portrait, I had Samara from the film The Ring coming out of a well.
I remember this sleeve really well. She still had it going on when I first started watching her, and I remember thinking at that point, it's maybe 2015 at this point, thinking, oh doggy, that's not very good. But proper good on her for sitting through getting this whole thing blasted over the space of a year as well. She'd have been sitting there a long time getting this blasted over, like 30 hours plus in total. But again, well worth it.
I had a graveyard, I had trees, What else did I have? I had a whole lot of stuff going on there. There was like smokiness to it and all of that. And luckily, over the years that it had, healed, it had faded quite a bit, but I still didn't think a cover up would be ideal. And I absolutely love negative space blast overs or negative space tattoo sleeves that are heavy on the black work. So I was like, you know what? That's perfect. That will cover it so dang well. And I love this blast over sleeve so much. I know it's not to everyone's taste, but hey, that's what makes tattoos freaking wonderful and why I love tattoos 100. So much, because what's amazing for me isn't amazing for you, and what's amazing for you isn't amazing for me, but we all come together because we love tattoos, right?
We
and
do.
That's why
we all
I just
fucking love tattoos.
Okay, I'm sure we can I'm sure we've gathered that by now. I also recently, with this tattoo, had some white ink put over the top of it. They have healed pretty well. I can still see them. They are noticeable, but they're not like super bright and vibrant. I definitely think I would need to go over them. Well, not me personally, but the artist would need to go over them. But doing that, I don't know when. It's not a high priority for me as of this moment.
I really fucking love this sleeve. As Lauren was saying, I'm sure this sleeve is not for everyone, but I really love this. I love anything with like a really heavy blackout in it, and look at this. I think it works so nicely over the old sleeve. I mean, you can still kind of see old bits of the sleeve underneath, which actually really enhance the sleeve rather than detracting from it. And the choice to go with a blast over rather than trying to rework the old sleeve, I think was absolutely the perfect choice in this case. I mean, I'm always going to love like a flower done in this style, like we've got like a chrysanthemum or like a peony or something. Whenever it's done well, it always looks so sick, and a whole sleeve of that shit looks absolutely impeccable, especially with all the black shading around it, filling it in, giving that real kind of contrast. And it just goes to show, if you've got an old sleeve that you're not a fan of anymore, doesn't fit with you anymore, there are all sorts of things that are possible to rework it, to blast over it, to cover it up. Tattoos are a journey. These things are allowed to be ever evolving. And just to be clear, this sleeve is so much better than the old sleeve that she has underneath. So next up, we have somebody who's been making waves on tattoo YouTube recently with his reaction videos, and we have the very talented Kirk Fagan. So Kirk is an American traditional tattoo artist, and as I mentioned, he does a lot of reaction videos, a lot of reacting to tattoos from TikTok, as well as videos similar to this, reacting to tattoos from YouTube as well. And he's just a really interesting guy to watch and break down tattoos. And the original video that I'm using these clips from is called Tattoo Artist Tattoo Tour by Kirk Fagan Tattoo. Let's get into it.
Fast forward to when I was 19 and I was becoming obsessed with traditional tattoos. And I walked into the closest tattoo shop around that did traditional, and I got this super cool eagle perched on a branch on the inside of my arm. The dude who did this tattoo, his name is Mikey Tay, and he ended up doing quite a few different tattoos on me, but he also ended up teaching me how to tattoo. Not very many people can say the first person they got tattooed by is the person who mentored them, but that's how it happened with me.
That's a pretty wild story. The first person he got tattooed by ended up teaching him to tattoo. That's pretty fucking cool. What also is pretty fucking cool is this eagle that sits on his inner biceps on his left arm. I feel like if you've seen any of my other videos, you may have heard me say this before, but an eagle done in a traditional tattoo style is always going to look incredible, and this is another example that proves me right. I really like that the eagle is seated on a branch. Normally, typically I suppose in an American traditional tattoo of an eagle, you've got the wings spread. This eagle's having a nice little rest on a branch. Got some cool little flower fillers in the background. This is settled really beautifully into his skin as well. I don't know, he didn't say how many years old it was, but it's healed real nice, settled in really nice to his skin.
This rose and butterfly girl.
Something else you might have also heard me say if you've watched my channel before is lady head done in an American traditional style always going to look amazing whenever it's, you know, actually done well. Again, another example that proves me right. Settled really nicely into his skin in the same way that the eagle has as well.
It's Rose to No Man's Land.
I fucking love the Rose of No Man's Land as a traditional tattoo piece. It's like a flash piece. It's something that I actually would really like to get on me as well. And this is a really great take on that old classic design. Flows really nicely around his shoulder and like the top of his arm.
This Billy Wang tattoo on my forearm.
That's
this
so
is probably
sick.
my favorite tattoo, and I think it will stay my favorite tattoo. It just is so strong. I'm so happy it's on my forearm.
Yeah, no, that is a really fucking good place to have such a strong tattoo. Is that a snake at the bottom as well, going through the eagle head? Yeah, you got a snake and an eagle, dagger going through both things. Both badass things. That is the absolute perfect placement for this piece as well. I think that if that piece was on my body, it'd probably be my favourite out of the ones that he's shown so far. Just absolutely sick.
Uzi also did this Chicana girl on my shoulder. When I went to get this tattoo,
beautiful.
I was an apprentice. And as an apprentice, you kind of feel obligated to just go with the flow. And that's kind of part of the fun. But I went with my homie Billy, who did this tattoo, as well as my chest. But we went together and I asked for a Mexican girl. And in my head, I was thinking of more like a classic Mexican woman, like with a sombrero and some patterns. And he drew up kind of like this Chicana chick. And I was like, well, shit, that's what I'm getting, I guess. And I got it. And I loved it. But it wasn't what I was expecting.
That's an interesting story. Quite a common story, I feel like, with tattoo apprentices. You end up just getting a lot of whatever it is that whoever is apprenticing you wants to tattoo that day. If they've got a piece of flash that they really want to tattoo so they can get some nice cool photos of it, then you're going to get that tattoo. Pretty fucking sick tattoo to end up with though. And she is really beautiful, you know, really well done. I love when traditional is done in like a black and grey kind of style as well. And it's kind of an odd placement for the tattoo, but actually it flows really nicely with Kirk's body, so it's worked out really well.
I ended up getting a very similar style of tattoo by a guy named Tim Hendricks, who you probably know of.
Oh god, yeah.
Garver's friend and fellow artist, Tim Hendricks, is in town from LA.
He ended up owning Classic Tattoo, which is the place where I started. So again, very meaningful tattoo. And I couldn't be more stoked on these two pieces and how they match together.
Yeah, they do flow really nicely together. It's got this old school like skull, who's just like this badass dude with braids and a beard. Looks like he's coming to steal your soul, but in the best kind of way, you know? And they do flow so well together. It's funny how these things just work out sometimes, isn't it? Like, not a load of planning can go into tattoos and they can end up working out really well like this has. All things can all go to shit. Maybe you should think about planning out your tattoos as well. I don't know, up to you, just saying.
I mentioned my chest a few minutes ago, but I do love my chest piece. A ship
so sick.
was from an old piece of flash. It was so painful, and I was like, whoa, tattoos can hurt. This is awful.
They can.
And then I went and I got my stomach done, and I was like, wow, chests don't hurt at all. Stomachs hurt real bad. And I ended up getting the Pharaoh's horses on my stomach by a guy named Kyle Crowell.
That is also sick.
About 3 hours each, and boy, was it painful. It hurt so bad.
Yeah, I have heard this a lot, that stomach actually hurts more than chest, even though I think people talk about the chest hurting a lot. But I have heard stomach tattoos are actually awful as well. And I have both of those things still to come my way, so I've got both of those things to look forward to. Both of these tattoos are so sick though, like the clipper ship on the chest. I love everything about this. I especially love the roses and the other floral kind of pieces around it at the bottom. Again, it flows really sick on his body. And then the Pharaoh's horses on his stomach are just absolutely outrageous. Pharaoh's horses, I think, is probably one of my favourite pieces of flash, and something that I'm going to take some inspiration for when I get my chest done. I want to get some horses and two cowgirls with inspiration taken from the kind of Pharaoh's horses for the horses that are going to be in the middle. You know, it's such a sick tattoo. I love the eagle above it as well. And Kirk's got a fuck ton of eagles on him actually, hasn't he? Just thinking about it, he's got at least 3 eagle tattoos. Although having said that, I have 2. Maybe people with American traditional tattoos just end up with a lot of eagle tattoos. Maybe that's just what that is. But his whole front looks so sick. I would be so stoked to own both of those tattoos. And Kirk was saying that they were really painful, especially the stomach tattoo. It must be worth it though, right? Look at how sick these tattoos are. And that is it. Those are my reactions to some tattoo tours from a few of my favourite tattoo influencers. If you did enjoy this video, give it a like and hit the subscribe button and all of that other YouTube bollocks. If you like the music that you're hearing in the background, well, it was all produced by me. I've got another channel where I post beats/instrumentals that I've written for singers to use to write songs to, so if that is something that you are interested in, I'll put a link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.